Back at Grady's Field for game number 14 of the 2017 campaign. In this 2017 summer for the Xenia Scouts, the Scouts enter 6-7. They'll take on the Richmond Jazz, who are 7-5 to begin the year. For a doubleheader here today at Grady's Field. Game one, of course, right now. Game two will start about 20 to 30 minutes after this one finishes up. Gabe Genovesi here with you today alongside my partner, Andrew Alix. The Scouts come in off a loss at the Copperheads. But before that, Xenia had won 4 in a row with some actually really good pitching. What are you looking for here today, Andrew?
Well, I like what we saw from Caleb Bly in his start in the doubleheader game against Lorain County. Now, 4 innings for Bly there. I believe he allowed either 1 run or went 4 innings without a run. But unfortunately, that start was cut short because of an hour and a half long rain delay. A little bit of gamesmanship there by the Ironman, but a great sign from what we saw from Bly. His first start out was against this Richmond Jazz team. He had struggles. A lot of them could be blamed on errors in the field by his teammates. One of them, of course, was made by himself. But for Bly, his third start here in the Great Lakes League, and let's see what the young Texan has to offer us.
You mentioned Bly on the mound for us. R.J. Wagner on the other side for the Richmond Jazz on the mound, and that's actually the pitching matchup we saw the first time these two teams play. Wagner got the win, 5 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and the Jazz got a 7-3 victory against the Scouts in Richmond last time. And now we are set for first pitch here at Grady's Field. Bly on the mound, Nate Cobb the batter. The first pitch to Cobb, a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Nate Cobb leads it off. Cole Parks and Mitch Wilson will follow him. Around the diamond for the Scouts, Aaron Takis at the hot corner, Ben Beachy at short, Bourgeois at second. As the second pitch to Cobb is fouled off behind the plate, 0-2. Kyle Casserly at first. Jordan Lambert in left, Francisco Ondina in center, and Dylan Lottenville in right tonight. Actually, this evening for the Xenia Scouts. Nate Cobb, his first game with the Richmond Jazz. Now the 0-2 from Bly, a curveball fouled off the front leg of Cobb. And we'll do 0-2 all over again.
He just got the minimum piece of that good curveball there from Caleb Bly on the inside, but new life for Nate Cobb. He stays alive at 0-2.
Cobb comes in, as I mentioned, his first game with the Richmond Jazz from Malone College. He'll be a sophomore with the Pioneers. The 0-2, a curveball off the outside part of the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nate Cobb, the 2017 GMAC Freshman of the Year. That's the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. Batted .352 for the Pioneers. Now the 1-2. A swing and a miss on a fastball up and out from Caleb Bly. He gets his first strikeout of the day, and there's 1 down here in the first.
Hot start from Caleb Bly. Like what we're seeing, Bly is known very good at getting ahead on hitters, 0-2, 1-2. But he has had issues at various times throughout this season, finishing them off. But a good sign of things to come, hopefully, here from Caleb Bly.
Cole Parks will step up in the 2-hole today for the Jazz. Parks, a .240 hitter on the season. Does have 2 triples. That's second in the Great Lakes League. The first pitch from Bly, a curveball that drops in there at the knees for strike 1.
Great pitch there by Bly. The curveball already, you can see he's gone to it now 3 times, and 2 of the 3 times finding the zone.
Now the 0-1. Another curveball, a swing and a miss from Parks, and Caleb Bly once again ahead in the count, 0-2. He got ahead 0-2 on Cobb. Cobb was able to foul off a curveball. Bly came back with the high heat. Now another changeup in there at the knees for strike 3. The second strikeout of the day for Caleb Bly. 2 in a row, and there's 2 down here in the second.
And if this is the Caleb Bly that we're going to see today, this will mean good things for the Scouts going forward. Bly, if you remember, hadn't had a start since his senior year of high school, taking his redshirt year with the Division II program, Oklahoma Baptist, but a couple starts under his belt here, and he seems to have really settled in here early in the top of the first.
The first pitch to Mitch Wilson is a curveball just off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. Mitch Wilson, the hottest hitting hitter on this Jazz team. 19 hits, bats .358 from the left side. The 1-0. A fastball in there for strike 1. Wilson, 16th in the Great Lakes League in average. I mentioned the .358. Now the 1-1. A ground ball toward Bourgeois at second. He'll flip it over to Casserly in a 1-2-3 inning for Caleb Bly to start off this one. We're through half of an inning. The Scouts will come to bat in the bottom with Beachy to lead it off. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the home half of the first inning we go here at Grady's Field. Game number 1 of a doubleheader between the Scouts and the Richmond Jazz this afternoon. We will play 7 innings in both games, so it will be a shortened game here in Game 1. R.J. Wagner on the mound for the Jazz. The first pitch to Ben Beachy is lined foul down the first baseline, 0-1. Beachy, Park, and Lambert, the first 3 batters in this Scouts order today. Ben Beachy leads the team in average at 300, the most hits on the team with 15, and leads the team in RBIs as well with 12. The 0-1 pitch from Wagner outside, ball 1. R.J. Wagner, a 6'2 righty from the University of Dayton. So far this year, 2-0 in his 2 starts, a 2.31 ERA. The 1-1 to Beachy, a ground ball through the hole up the middle. Ben Beachy is on for the first time today, and the Scouts have their leadoff hitter on here in the first.
And as our good friend Dave Null would say, nobody no-hits the Scouts.
And that'll bring up Ryan Park for Xenia. Park, a 289 hitter on the year. That's second on the Xenia Scouts team. R.J. Wagner, as I mentioned, beat the Xenia Scouts in his first win of the year. The first pitch to Park, a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Wagner went 5 innings pitched, 4 hits given up, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 4 Scouts and struck out 5. Now the 0-1 to Park, a curveball high at the chin, 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a 7-3 victory for the Jazz. The Scouts look for a little bit of revenge today. The 1-1 from Wagner, a fastball fouled off. It was a little hit and run action there from the Scouts. Bubba Cates calling a hit and run early. 1 ball and 2 strikes. R.J. Wagner, 11 2/3 innings pitched on the season. He's given up 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He's walked 7 and struck out 12. The 1-2, a curveball blooped into left field, and that ball's going to land fair. It passes away from the left fielder Parks, and Beachy's going to take off for third. He's in there safely. Ryan Park is in there with a double, and there's runners on second and third with nobody down here in the first.
And this is exactly what you want to see from the Scouts' 2 leadoff hitters, Ben Beachy and Ryan Park, 2 guys that have been very productive for the Scouts thus far. And Nothing too special, just a ball up the middle for Beachy, and for Ryan Park, a bloop that just took a kangaroo hop over the head of the left fielder, Cole Parks, turns a single into a double, and just like that, here with nobody out, a couple of runners in scoring position for Jordan Lambert.
Lambert takes a fastball outside, ball one. Jordan Lambert, a 271 hitter on the year, third on this Xenia Scouts team. He's been struggling as of late, though. 2 for his last 17 the past 3 games. Now the 1-0. A slider off the outside edge, 2 balls and no strikes. Lambert his 2 hits did come in the last game against the Copperheads, a 13-4 loss for the Scouts. So before that, Lambert was 0 for 12. The 2-0 pitch, low and away, 3 balls and no strikes to Jordan Lambert. That was Ryan Park's 3rd double of the year as he stands on second. Ben Beachy on third. No score between the Jazz and the Scouts here in the bottom half of the first inning. The 3-0 to Jordan Lambert. A fastball high and away, a 4-pitch walk to the senior from Tennessee, Martin, and the bases are juiced for the Scouts here in the first inning. Bases loaded, nobody down for Kyle Casserly, who is one of the hottest hitters on this Xenia Scouts team. Casserly only batting .227 on the year, but he's 5 for his last 8, including a solo home run and an RBI single. Cass 3rd on this Xenia Scouts team in RBIs with 7. Now the first pitch to Kyle Casserly. A fastball at the knees for strike 1. Cass's solo shot 2 games ago was the first Xenia Scouts home run of the year in that 12-8 win over the Copperheads. Now the 0-1, a slider in the outside corner for strike 2. Cass falls behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Beachy on third, Park on second, Lambert on first, no score here in the bottom half of the first inning. The 0-2 pitch, a fastball just off the outside edge, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the redshirt junior from Wright State. And part of the problem for the Scouts here in the beginning part of the season has been falling behind early. They have a chance to avoid that right now. The 1-2 off the outside edge, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Casserly.
And if you're Kyle Casserly, the pitcher always looking for a fastball, but actually on that home run, he was sitting curveball the entire time and just mashed it. So if you give Cass something that he can hit, you're in trouble if you're RJ Wagner here.
The 2-2, a curveball, chest high, strike 3. Kyle Casserly goes down looking, and there's 1 down here in the first. And that'll bring up Aaron Takis for the Scouts. Takis has not played since June 20th, so a week off for Aaron Takis. Had a hamstring injury. He says he feels 100% now, and he's ready to go. Takis 5 for 22 on the year. 3 RBIs. The first pitch to Takis. A curveball in there for strike 1.
And Wagner just continually attacking with these breaking pitches these past 2 batters.
Takis, the lefty. Wagner, the righty. The 0-1 pitch, fouled back, straight behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes to Aaron Takis. Takis, the last time these 2 teams played, went 0 for 3 with a walk back in Richmond. 2 of those at-bats against RJ Wagner. The 0-2, a curveball grounded toward first and past the first baseman check. 1 run will score. Park will come around from second. The throw gets cut off, and it's 2-0 Scouts here in the first.
And welcome back, Aaron Takis. After taking a couple games off, his first at-bat executes. 2 runs come home. And once again, not the hardest hit ball in the world from the Scouts' bats. Just a ground ball, kind of a hot ground ball in the right place. Gets past the first baseman. 2 runs come home. And the Scouts have an early lead, the kind of lead that they've desperately been searching for all season long.
he's 1 for his last 16 from the plate. The 1-1 pitch to Ring. A curveball misses low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ring, someone who hasn't struggled in a long time at Hillsdale. We've talked about it plenty of times. Broke the home run record for the Hillsdale Chargers. Now the 2-1. A chopper, but it hits off of Ring's front foot. That's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, Ring just doing a little bunny hop there. That one's got to hurt. But Donald, you look at the big uppercut swing. Gabe just mentioned the home run record. Definitely a power guy. And he's been limited in at-bats because of injuries so far this season. Has, struggled a little bit in the opportunities he's had. But we're still waiting for him to break out here after his standout season with the Chargers.
The 2-2. A curveball misses off the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Donald Ring. A 2 RBI single from Aaron Takis gives the Scouts a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Lambert stands on third, Takis on first with 1 down. The 3-2 pitch fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do 3-2 all over again.
And the runner Takis going there, so once again a little hit-and-run action from Xenia Scouts manager Bubba Cates. But for the second time in as many tries, a foul ball has stopped that plan from being executed.
Coming into today, the Jazz in second place in the Southern standings at 7-5. The Scouts in fourth at 6-7. Now the 3-2 to Ring. A fastball fouled off behind the plate. A good job by Ring to stay alive with a couple of foul balls. So with 2 wins this afternoon, the Scouts will actually jump the Jazz in the Southern Division standings if they can get a couple of wins. The Jazz would fall to 4th. The Scouts would move up to 3rd, and then the Steam and the Copperheads, Cincinnati, the Steam in first place, the Copperheads in second place in the division, play each other tonight. A curveball in the outside corner, strike 3. Takis steals second. He slides in safely. Ring doesn't like the call on the curveball on the outside edge, but now there's 2 down here in the first.
And Aaron Takis moving over there and actually did not get the best jump from first, but the throw from the catcher, Bill Kroll, just wasn't handled by the second baseman, Mitch Wilson over there. Actually lost the ball, so even though the throw probably beat Takis, the strike him out, throw him out double play is not in effect there. And now a spot here for Ange Bourgeois, who's hit pretty decently, especially in big spots for the Scouts these past couple of days. 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs here.
He takes a ball low in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes to Bourgeois. Now the pitch. This time the fastball in there at the belt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ange Bourgeois, who's hitting .256 on the season for the Scouts. The only Xenia Scout to reach base in all 11 games he's played in. The 1-1, a curveball just high, 2 balls and 1 strike to Ange Bourgeois. Around the diamond for the Jazz, Daniel Sepik at third, Jordan Gillerman at short, Mitch Wilson at second, Andrew Check at first. Bill Krul behind the plate. The 2-1 to Bourgeois, fastball in there for strike 2.
And Bourgeois, even though you probably don't notice it as much as you would with guys like Joey Roddy, but actually does strike out a good bit. I believe 13 Ks on the year. That is essentially 3rd on the Scouts team.
Now the 2-2, a curveball high at the chin, 3 balls and 2 strikes to the junior from Biola University. 2-0 the Scouts lead here in the bottom of the first. Jordan Lambert on third, Aaron Takis on second for the Scouts. A full count to Bourgeois. The runners will be going. The payoff pitch, grounded up the middle. The play made by Wilson. He throws over. Bourgeois beat it out. And now Takis is in a rundown between home and third. He dives back, and he is out at third base. But Ange Bourgeois does get the RBI. Jordan Lambert scores, and it is 3-0 Scouts as we head to the top half of the second inning. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. A 3-0 Xenia Scouts lead as we head to the top half of the second inning. Caleb Bly back on the mound for the Scouts. Daniel Sepik will lead it off for the Jazz. The first pitch to Sepik in tight, ball one. Daniel Sepik, Andrew Check, and Bill Krul, the 4, 5, 6 hitters today for the Jazz. Step up to the plate here in the second. Now the 1-0 from Bly. A curveball just off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes to Daniel Sepik. Sepik, a 269 hitter for this Richmond Jazz team. Third on the team in hits with 14. 2-0. A curveball just misses. Must have been just below the knees.
Yeah.
3 balls and no strikes.
And Caleb Bly, who was really spotting up in the first inning. 3 straight balls here to start off the second. Let's see if he can get me a crossover right here.
And it doesn't. It's inside. It actually gets away from the catcher Park. It won't matter, of course. And Daniel Sepik is on with a 4-pitch walk.
So the first base runner of the game for the Richmond Jazz, and a big hitter to the plate here in Andrew Check. A test here early for the very young Caleb Bly.
Check steps up, a big lefty in the box, 6'5", 250 pounds from Walsh University. He'll be a junior with the Cavaliers. The first pitch to him, a curveball in the dirt, a good block by Park behind the plate to keep it in front of him, 1-0. And Caleb Bly had said he was going to go with a lot of curveballs today. Last time against this Jazz team, he threw mainly fastball changeup. He was going to try to drop that curveball in today, and it was working in the top half of the first inning. It's missed here in the second. The 1-0, a fastball at the knees for strike one.
Yeah, Bly goes inside that time. Bly really using both sides of the plate here early, an encouraging sign for the righty. And Andrew Check, who 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, but 9 strikeouts. Let's see what Bly can do here.
The 1-1, a slow ground ball toward Takis at third. He'll fire over to first for the out. Daniel Sepik, you weren't getting him at second on that slow roller. Good play by Takis, and there's 1 down here in the second.
And unfortunate for the Scouts there because, not a very hard hit ball, but, hit so weakly, like you said, Gabe, that the double play just had no time to develop. And a good job there by Aaron Takis to understand the situation and just make the play over to first rather than wasting time trying to get the runner at second that would have possibly ended up with nobody getting out and 2 on and nobody out.
Bill Krul steps to the plate for the Jazz. He skies one high into shallow right field. The second baseman Bourgeois under it. He makes the grab. 1 pitch and another out for Caleb Bly, and there's 2 down here in the second.
And if you're Caleb Bly and if you're pitching coach Corey Coobs, that's exactly what you want to see there. 1 pitch out here. 1 pitch outs here. As if you guys don't know, this is just a 7-inning game here for the doubleheader. So if you're Corey Coobs, you want to see if you can get your starter Bly to go as far as possible in this game and preserve the bullpen for game 2, which is going to be more of a Johnny Holstaff kind of situation for the Scouts.
And now Josh Turnock steps to the plate for the Jazz. He takes a strike on a fastball on the outside corner. Turnock 9 for 41 on the year, a 220 hitter. Does lead this Richmond Jazz team in walks with 8. Daniel Sepik stands on second, 2 down here in the top half of the second inning. 3-0, the Scouts lead. The pitch, hard ground ball, but foul down the first baseline. And Caleb Bly is ahead in the count, 0-2.
Probably the hardest hit ball we've seen off of Bly all day, and that was pretty close, just about a foot to the right of the first baseline, but foul nonetheless. So a sigh of relief if you're Caleb Bly here, ahead in this count, 0-2 with 2 away.
Bly sets the 0-2 pitch. A fastball high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Turnock. Turnock 1 extra base hit on the year. It was a double. All he needs is a base hit somewhere, and Sepik's going to have a chance to score. The 1-2 from Bly. Curveball flied high in the air toward Lottenville and right. Lottenville retreating, and he'll make the grab over his shoulder just in front of the warning track. a walk, but no hits and no runs. One left on base for the Jazz here in the second. We'll head to the home half of the second inning. The Scouts lead 3-0. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the home half of the second inning we go here at Grady's Field. A 3-0 Xenia Scouts lead as they got 3 in the bottom of the first. And Dylan Lawtonville will step up to the plate for the first time today. He takes a strike at the knees from R.J. Wagner. Lawtonville, one of the Scouts in a slump to start the year, 4 for 37 on the season. Did get a hit in the last game versus the Copperheads as he takes a ball on the outs, just off the outside corner.
And the story all year with Lawtonville, it's been a lot of balls hit very, very hard, just none of them really able to find anything.
The 1-1, a curveball low and away, 2 balls and 1 strike to the junior from Hillsdale. Lawtonville, another one of his 4 hits was against R.J. Wagner and the Jazz. A double in that game. He went 1 for 4 in Richmond. Now the 2-1. A fastball catches the outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Lawtonville. And one of Lawtonville's problems has been the strikeout this year. 14 of them. To 2-2. A curveball just off the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Lawtonville.
And that was certainly a close pitch on the, I guess, outside part of the plate, but home plate umpire giving it to us, and the count goes full.
The pitch, a fastball fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do 3-2 all over again. The first game of a doubleheader here today at Grady's, we will play 7 innings in both of these games. So it's huge. Well, it's always huge, but even bigger in a 7-inning game for the Scouts to get off to a 3-0 lead as Lawtonville called time. And actually, it might have been the home plate umpire that called time because he saw the ball back there. Francisco Andina goes and picks up the foul ball.
Yeah, but certainly very important. Positive signs for the Scouts all around thus far. 2 quick, very efficient innings for Caleb Bly, and the offense attacking early.
The 3-2 fouled off again by Lawtonville. A fastball from R.J. Wagner. And we'll stay at 3-2.
And for R.J. Wagner, who's already faced 7 batters in this game, to have nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning and Lawtonville just working this count pitch after pitch, it's got to be difficult.
The 3-2, a fastball chopped toward third. The third baseman, Sepik, fields it on 2 hops and fires over to the first baseman, Check, to get Lawtonville 1 down here in the second. And that'll bring up Francisco Andina for the Scouts. Andina, the 9-hole hitter, where he's been all season long, 6 for 37 on the year, a 162 average. But the thing about Andina, 12 walks on the year. That is 10th in the league. The first pitch to Andina, low and away, ball 1. His on-base percentage, .367, Francisco Andina. Andina, the 5'8 lefty, Wagner. The 6'2 righty, a fastball fouled off now down the third baseline. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andina.
And for Francisco Andina, not very often that you see a guy who's hitting a .162 on the year with a .367 on-base percentage.
The 1-1, way low in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Francisco Andina. Andina, despite the walks and getting on base, hitting-wise, his 6 for 37 is obviously a struggle, but he's 1 for his last 14. Now the pitch. A fastball on the outside edge for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the junior from Spring Arbor University. Andina hit .296 with the Cougars last season. Now the 2-2 pitch, a curveball just fouled off by Andina. He barely got a piece of that one. It bounced in his own batter's box, but we'll stay at 2-2.
And we talk about Francisco Andina's ability to draw walks, ability to get on base, and having him in this 9-hole all year has been really beneficial to the scouts who, with Andina's ability to get on and his speed on the base paths as well, as it heads back to the top of the order most of the time for guys like Ben Beachy, Ryan Park, who are higher average guys, extra base hit guys. It's produced runs all throughout the season for the scouts.
Andina steps out, takes the big deep breath he always takes. Now the 2-2 from RJ Wagner. A fastball way high and out. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And this is where you have to give credit to Andina, fouling off a couple pitches, staying alive. Now he's got himself back in this at-bat.
Yeah, the first 2 batters of this inning, both going to full count plus. Really working RJ Wagner.
The 3-2 pitch, a fastball, ground ball toward the first baseman check. He'll step on first, 2 down. So a good at-bat from Francisco Andina to work the count, make Wagner throw more pitches. And that'll bring up Ben Beachy with 2 down here in the second inning. A 3-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts over the Jazz. As Beachy comes up, he singled his first time up in the first, up the middle. Just past the glove of the shortstop Gillerman. The first pitch to Beachy, a curveball in there for strike 1. Beachy not only has been reliable with the bat this year, but in the field as well at shortstop once again today as he swings through a curveball. No balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore from Otterbein College. The 0-2 from Wagner. A swing and a miss on a curveball on the outside corner. RJ Wagner gets his 3rd strikeout of the day. And the Scouts go down 1-2-3 here in the second inning. 3-0 the Xenia Scouts lead as we head to the top of the third. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. The top of the third inning we go here at Grady's Field. A 3-0 Xenia Scouts lead over the Richmond Jazz. Jordan Gillerman will lead it off for Richmond. Jack Holden and Nate Cobb will follow him. The first pitch to Gillerman inside for ball one. Gillerman, the 8-hole hitter, Holden 9, and back to the top and Cobb. Gabe Genovesi here with you on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network alongside Caden Owens as he joins the broadcast booth for a couple innings today. The 1-0, low and away from Bly, 1-1.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting perspective being up here. It's the first time I've been up here and on a dugout, so interesting for sure.
The 1-1 from Bly, a fastball just inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Owens, of course, a key part of this Xenia Scouts team. In right field, pitching. I believe it's 7, 8 1/3 innings pitched, no earned runs.
8 1/3, I think that's right.
As Bly drops a curveball in there for strike 2. Jordan Gillerman on the year, 286 from the plate, 12 for 42, as he skies a fastball high into left field. Jordan Lambert settling under it, and he'll make the grab, 1 down.
Bly looks really good today. I'm excited for him. Stuff looks good, locating his fastball well. This is good news for us.
Caleb Bly has been one of the most reliable pitchers for the Xenia Scouts, as Caden is talking about. A 1.69 ERA. That's 10th in the Great Lakes League. And now the first pitch to Jack Holden. A swing and a miss on a changeup. No balls and 1 strike to Holden, the 9-hole hitter today for the Jazz. Jack Holden, 8 for 35 on the season, a 229 average. The 0-1 now, a fastball in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Holden's problem in this first third of the year has been the strikeout. 13 strikeouts by the redshirt senior. Bly takes a deep breath. Now the 1-1 on the inside part of the plate, strike 2.
It's a great pitch. That's a tough pitch to handle for left-handed hitters. On the black right there.
Bly's curveball working for him early. The 1-2, another curveball chopped foul down the first baseline, and we'll do 1-2 all over again. A couple straight curveballs from Caleb Bly. Would you come back with it, or will you try to blow him by him now?
I wouldn't be surprised to see a curveball right here with how well he's throwing it so far.
The 1-2, a fastball chopped right back to Bly. He fields it on 2 hops, fires over to Casserly, and there's 2 down here in the third, and you can't help but chuckle as Caleb Bly fired that over to first and started jogging right off the field with his hand up. He was pretty pumped about another scoreless inning, but there's 2 down.
The inside joke there is the first time Caleb Bly had an opportunity there with a ground ball to him, he threw it over the first baseman's head a couple weeks ago. So.
That was actually at Richmond. So was he jogging off the field like there was 3 outs, or was he playing that off like he was some hero?
That was a celebration of him successfully throwing the ball to first base, I think.
Nate Cobb steps off. The leadoff hitter takes a ball inside, 1-0. And that was at Richmond. That was the one error by Bly. He chucked it over Kyle Casserly's head at first. And that one was pretty hard, too, and low. I was worried it was going to go past Cass again. Now, the 1-0 low in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes to Nate Cobb. So Caleb Bly just having a little fun there on the mound.
Oh, yeah. You got to keep it loose up there.
The 2-0. A fastball low and away. And now Bly, the second time today we've seen this, down in the count 3-0. Again, not normal for Caleb Bly. Normally very good at getting ahead of hitters.
And you definitely don't want to be behind in counts, but the way that he's worked off of that and got him back in the zone and found his way has been a good sign.
The get-me-over fastball does just that. 3 balls and 1 strike to Nate Cobb. Cobb's first game with the Richmond Jazz this year. just joined the team from Malone College. The 3-1, a fastball lined over Takis' head, base hit left field. Jordan Lambert cuts it off and gets it into second before Cobb can extend the single to a double. But Nate Cobb is on with a 2-out single for his first hit of the summer.
And that was a well-located fastball, but that's the difference in pitching behind in the count rather than being ahead 0-2, 1-2 like we've seen Bly this afternoon.
So that it changes the hitter's perspective. He's jumping on that fastball.
Absolutely. You're sitting on a fastball right there.
Cole Parks steps to the plate. The righty struck out looking his first time up. Bly's second victim of the day. Parks 2 triples on this Richmond Jazz team. Leads the team, and he's actually one of 7 players in the league to have 2 triples or more. And now Bly throws over to first. Cobb dives back easily. Still, no count on Cole Parks. Deanna of the Hamilton Joes has 3 triples. He leads the league. Now the first pitch to Parks. Ground ball toward Beachy at second. He'll have to go to first with it as Cobb was stealing. No problem for Ben Beachy. And Caleb Bly has thrown 3 scoreless innings here in game 1 of this doubleheader with the Richmond Jazz. A 3-0 Xenia Scouts lead as we head to the home half of the third. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. A 3-0 Xenia Scouts lead as we head to the bottom half of the third inning. R.J. Wagner still on the mound for the Jazz. Ryan Park at the plate for the Scouts. He doubled his first time up in the first inning, and now he fouls one straight back on a fastball from Wagner. No balls and 1 strike. Gabe Genovesi here with you on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network as Park takes the ball outside. Caden Owens, the left-handed pitcher / right fielder for the Xenia Scouts, joins me today.
Yeah, Ryan Park has been very productive for this team so far this season. I really like watching him hit.
Park takes a strike at the knees, 1-2. The productiveness he's talking about, a .289 average for Ryan Park, second on the Xenia Scouts team. 10 walks as well, and the 1-2 pitch from Wagner is lined into center field, base hit. Ryan Park is 2 for 2 on the day, and the Scouts had the leadoff runner aboard here in the third.
It's a good piece of hitting, down in the count 1-2 right there. I've always heard that great hitters are able to hit whenever they're behind in counts and they're deep in counts. So that's a great job by Ryan Park.
Park got a curveball and lined it into center field, and that'll bring up Jordan Lambert for the Scouts. Lambert walked in the first inning, came around to score the third run of the game. Jordan Lambert, a .271 hitter. He takes a strike right down the middle. No balls and 1 strike to Lambert. Despite being third on this team in average, Lambert is 2 for his last 17 from the plate in a little bit of a slump over the past 4 games. Now a fastball off the outside edge, 1 ball and 1 strike to the senior from Tennessee, Martin. Lambert got off to that hot start, 8 RBIs on the year as well for the Scouts, second on this team. The pitch now. Park takes off for second. The throw from the catcher, Cruel, is not in time. Park dives head first around a tag, and he's safe at second. And Jordan Lambert has a duck on the pond with nobody down.
And I've talked to Jordan quite a bit about the swing and how he's feeling over his last few games, and he said honestly he feels the same. It's just a matter of the balls that he's hitting aren't finding holes right now, and everything will work itself out for him.
The 2-1 chopped foul down the first baseline, 2-2. And when he was on that hot streak, he was talking about how he was just about a half foot back in the box, more off the plate as well. He was seeing the ball better that way. And he like you said, he hasn't changed it. He's just not finding holes. The 2-2, and that one finds a hole. Base hit right field. Ryan Park comes around from third. He'll be held up by Bubba Cates. And Jordan Lambert has his first hit of the day, and the runners are on the corners for the Scouts.
It's a great job by Jordan. There's nothing more encouraging than squaring a ball up right there in that situation.
First and third, nobody down. The Scouts lead the Jazz 3-0 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Ryan Park on third, Lambert with the single on first, and in steps Kyle Casserly. The redshirt junior from Wright State struck out looking in his first time up on a curveball about chest high. The first pitch from Wagner, another curveball up the middle. The shortstop Gillerman touches second, throws to first, and Check can't scoop it. Casserly will go to second on the throw. It went out of play. Ryan Park will score from third, and it's 4-0 Scouts.
Cass hit that ball very hard. He's looking in that situation to lift the ball right there, but he got a pitch early in the count where he could drill, and that's exactly what he did. Unfortunate placement right there, but got the job done.
The shortstop Gillerman in a little bit of a shift, playing Casserly being a lefty. He was still on the right side of the second base bag, but he was almost on top of second, and that's right where Casserly hit it. And now Aaron Takis takes the ball off the outside edge of the plate. 1 ball and no strikes to Takis, who had that 2 RBI single back in the first inning.
Yeah, that was a big rally starter for us in the first.
The 1-0 to Takis. Line drive, base hit center field. Casserly could not get a read on the ball. He'll move to third as he had to stop a little under halfway. But Aaron Takis is 2 for 2. A really good start for Takis, who hasn't played since June 20th with a hamstring injury.
Definitely. That's not an easy thing to do, to come off and not having it bat for 7 days in a row, especially off injury, and to be able to do what he's doing, that just shows what kind of player he is.
And now Wagner being talked to by the third baseman Sepik at the mound, trying to calm him down. 1 down here in the bottom of the third, a 4-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts over the Richmond Jazz. Kyle Casserly stands on third, Aaron Takis on first, and in steps Donald Ring. Ring struck out looking his first time up in the first inning. The first pitch to him, a fastball blown by him. No balls and 1 strike. Donald Ring still struggling early in the year. He's battled some forearm and some elbow injuries. He's 3 for 20 on the year now. Now the 0-1. A swing and a miss at a curveball in the dirt. Wagner got Ring to chase there. No balls and 2 strikes to the junior from Hillsdale College.
Right now, all Don's trying to do is lift a ball to the outfield somewhere deep enough to get Cass in from third base.
The 0-2 from Wagner. A fastball just off the outside edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes. At Hillsdale, Donald Ring did not struggle at all. 16 doubles, 17 home runs. The 17 home runs broke the school record. And he was hoping to come in here and make an impact right away as he swings through a fastball. Strike 3. Ring strikes out for the second time today, and there's 2 down here in the third. And as a player, when you go through that, you come off such a hot year, you're thinking you're going to come in here, not the competition about the same for Donald Ring. Come in here, make an impact right away. He's one of the returners on this Scout season. Last season for the Scouts, he only hit .207. So we wanted to improve that, and you just haven't so far. How do you bounce out of that as Ange Bourgeois steps up and takes the ball off the outside corner?
Well, I think you have to have confidence in yourself as a baseball player. You know, he's a college athlete. He can swing the bat, unbelievable bat speed. So he's going to come out of that. As long as he will stay confident in his ability, he'll be just fine.
The 1-0 to Bourgeois, just high, 2-0. 4-0, the Xenia Scouts lead here in the bottom of the third. 2 down, runners on the corners for the Scouts. Casserly on third, Takis on first. Bourgeois his first time up, an RBI single in the first inning.
Ange has been pretty hot for us lately, swinging the bat well.
Now the 2-0, a fastball lifted high toward left center field, toward the gap. Cole Parks gets there, the left fielder, and that'll do it for the Scouts here in the bottom half of the third. 1 run for Xenia on 3 hits, and they lead 4-0 as we head to the top half of the fourth inning. Andrew Alix will have the play-by-play for the fourth and the fifth. I believe Caden Owens is going to stay on for an inning, as he's in here, obviously normally a player, helping us out here in the broadcast booth. A 4-0 Scouts lead. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Keep going in that book. Flip it over.
We go into the top of the fourth inning here. Andrew Alix along Caden Owens. The Scouts with a 4-0 lead here, and Caleb Bly out to pitch his fourth inning of work. First pitch from Bly. That one, a curveball on the outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The batter is Mitch Wilson. Wilson, he is 0 for 1 on the day. A ground out to second. His first time up. The pitch. And that one, a curveball, just finds the inside part of the plate. Good pitch there from Bly. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count.
That's a good curveball from Caleb. He looks good so far today. His curveball's moving well, spotting up.
1-1 fastball just off the plate. The count moves 2-1. Caleb Bly has thrown 3 scoreless innings thus far, allowing just 1 hit and another base runner on a walk. The 2-1 pitch, and that one's fouled off out of play. Third base side. The count evens up 2-2. Bly going into his redshirt freshman campaign, or going into his freshman campaign following the redshirt freshman campaign at Oklahoma Baptist. Oklahoma, of course, the home state of our good friend Caden Owens, sitting to my left. But 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count with nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Bly looks to the catcher Park, and he looks like he trips or something.
Looks like he got caught on the turf there on the mound and didn't feel comfortable throwing that pitch. But with no one on base, that's no effect.
Well, actually, they're saying the count moves 3-2 now. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. That would be a balk, of course, if there was a runner on base.
Correct.
The count now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that one check swing. Did he go? Drop, third strike. Ryan Park lays down the tag. The 3rd strikeout of the game for Caleb Bly, and 1 away here in the top of the fourth. It's going to bring Daniel Sepik to the plate. Sepik, the 3rd baseman from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, of course. That's a Division II program. Sepik, his first time up, drew a walk, a .269 hitter on the year, 7 doubles, 1 home run, and 13 RBIs. First pitch from Bly. That one taken off the plate, 1-0 the count.
And you mentioned Bly being at Oklahoma Baptist. They have a great baseball program. Really excited to see what Bly does this next year. They have to be expecting big things out of him.
1-0. And that one's hit over towards third. Looks like the shortstop Beachy's going to take it. Throws over to first in time for out number 2. So a quick couple of outs here for Caleb Bly. And he continues to groove. 2 up, 2 down now. And it's going to bring Andrew Check to the plate. Check, one of the big power hitters in this lineup. Standing at 6'5", and he looks every single piece of that 6'5". Check on the year, a .340 hitter, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and 15 RBIs for the first baseman from Walsh. First pitch, and that one comes low and in, gets past the glove of the catcher Ryan Park and goes to the backstop, but nobody on board. So no effect, 1-0 the count now. Check his first time up, a ground out over to third. 1 ball, no strikes, but 2 away. The pitch, and that one a curveball. You think that one missed low or on the outside?
Had to be a little bit low. It was definitely over the plate.
So the count moves 2-0. The pitch, that one a fastball, finds the zone, a called strike 1. So 2-1 now the count. Caleb Bly.
That pitch located well, just below the knees, right on the outside corner of the plate. That's a good 2-0 pitch.
The 2-1 now. And that one's hit on the ground, but they're going to call that a fair ball, even though it definitely was not a fair ball.
No.
That one broke foul, but Check is heading for second, and he will get there standing. And that ball was so foul.
Wow.
Just a bad call in the field. And unfortunately, that one's going to be a double rule against Caleb Bly, and a little bit of trouble there. But
you could even see the hitter's surprise there.
Yeah, he did not. He stopped running after about two steps, and then realizing that they called it fair, got a delayed reaction. But because it was a foul ball, that rolled perfectly into like the deepest part of foul territory on the right field side. So even just lightly jogging, Andrew Check gets over to second standing, and now it's a runner at second here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. And that's a tough break if you're Caleb Bly. First pitch now, fastball low and away. Ball 1, the batter is Bill Krull. Krull, the catcher from Canisius, 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out into very shallow right field his first time up.
And not a favorable call for Bly there, but now we get to see how tough Bly will be right here with 2 outs and a runner on second base.
1-0 curveball taken all the way, a called strike there, evens up the count. A ball and a strike here with 2 away and a runner at second. Krull hitting from the right side against the right-handed pitcher, Caleb Bly. The 1-1 delivery. Curveball again, that one missing low and away. The count moves 2-1. And if you're Bly, if you're a Scouts fan, you hope that this doesn't phase Caleb Bly. A little hiccup that really shouldn't have been. Kind of finds himself in the most precarious situation he has seen himself in on the mound all day. 2-1 now. And 2-1 way high, and a favorable 3-1 count now for the catcher, Bill Krull.
We look for the hitter to see a fastball right here. Hopefully Bly can locate one down and away and get out of this jam.
The 3-1 pitch. And that one is high, ball 4. So Bill Krull takes a free 90 feet. And now it's runners at first and second and 2 outs for the designated hitter, Josh Turnock. Turnock from Eastern Illinois, a .220 hitter on the year, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs. And it looks like pitching coach Corey Koob's going to come out to the mound and have a word with Bly. I'd be interested to try to pick up what the pitch count is for Bly at this point. We'll try to get that to you as soon as possible. But if you're Corey Koob's, and you know Koob's pitching style being a pitcher yourself, Caden, what kind of advice do you think he's giving right now?
Yeah, I think all he's saying right now is to calm down. Obviously, we know that wasn't a good call there on the double, but you have to relax and you still have to pitch. So that's just a matter of getting ahead in the count right here with the fastball and attacking this hitter with 2 outs.
So how did we get here, folks? It was a strikeout, the first batter, followed by a ground out. So 2 on, nobody out. A double that shouldn't have been on a bad call on the first base line on a ball that should have been foul, followed by a walk. So it's runners at first and second now, and 2 away. Caleb Bly trying to put up his 4th scoreless frame in what will be a 7-inning baseball game today in game 1 of this doubleheader. So Turnock to the plate. He bats from the left side against the righty. First pitch up and away. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Eastern Illinois, a Division I program. One-zero coming now. And that one spikes in the dirt. Good job there by the catcher, Ryan Park, to stay in front of it. But the count now 2-0. And Park and the Xenia catchers alike throughout this season have been doing a good job behind the dish, especially when things have gotten a little bit wild for a number of our guys.
And this is a point in the game where you might see Bly starting to get a little bit tired with no innings pitched at OBU this season. But he's a competitor out there, so let's see what he can do.
2-0 missing outside, now 3-0. And he might have hit the nail on the head there, Caden, just with the stamina probably not being where it would be if Caleb Bly had a full season of experience under his belt and had that arm really warmed up. We've seen it in all of his appearances thus far, though. He's able to go a little bit farther in each and every game. 3-0 pitch, way upstairs, ball 4. And the bases are now loaded for a good hitter, the shortstop, Jordan Gillerman. So Gillerman from St. John's. St. John's, of course, the St. John's Red Storm, a Division I program located out of Queens, New York. A notable basketball program over there, often finding themselves in the Division I tournament for basketball. But they play baseball there as well. If Cade remembers, during our time in the Alaska League, a guy named Alix Caruso playing center field for the Matsu Miners. Talented guy out there, first team All-Big East guy. That first pitch from Caleb Bly to Gillerman, that one fastball up upstairs part of the zone, a called strike. 0-1 the count here with 2 away in the top of the 4th. The base is loaded for the Richmond Jazz, but 2 away.
I do remember Alix Caruso. He was a good player, had a great summer for them. That Matsu Miners team was pretty unbelievably talented.
Indeed. It was very surprising when they didn't end up winning the championship. The Anchorage Bucks ended up taking it, even though they had a much worse record. But 0-2 now the count is. Bly finds the strike zone on 0-1, so he's ahead 0-2 here. See if he can shut the door on Jordan Zimmerman and get out of this inning unscathed. And that one is lifted into center field, coming under it on Dina. He'll make the grab, out number 3. So the base is loaded for the Jazz, but nothing comes home. No runs on 1 hit and 3 men left aboard for Richmond. We have reached the middle of the 4th inning. The Scouts lead the Richmond Jazz by a score of 4-0, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball Radio. So we go into the bottom of the fourth inning. The Scouts with a 4-0 lead. Andrew Alix alongside Caden Owens here at Grady's Field in beautiful Xenia, Ohio. It'll be Dylan Lottenville, Francisco Andina, and Ben Beachy to the plate in the home half of the fourth. Lottenville lead things off. First pitch to him, swung on and missed. A ball low and away. Lottenville chasing there. The count 0-1. Dylan, his first time up, a ground out over to third. He bats from the right side here against the righty R.J. Wagner, 0-1. And that one missing on the outside, evens up being a ball and a strike. Lottenville, the right fielder from Hillsdale College. A bit of a slump to start the season, but we saw his numbers, his extra base hits numbers with the Chargers this year. All kinds of untapped potential for Dylan Lottenville. He watches 1-1 in the dirt, gets past the catcher. The count moves 2 balls and a strike.
And this is a potential fastball count right here, but the pitcher needs to be careful to Dylan right here. He's a kid who can definitely hurt you if you miss with a fastball.
2-1 now. Here it is. And Dylan hits that one on the ground over towards short. The shortstop Gillerman backhands, throws over to first just in time to get Dylan Lottenville, and that is 1 away here. Going to bring Francisco Andina to the plate. Andina, his first time up, a ground out over to first base, a 3 unassisted. That was back in the second, so he is 0 for 1 on the day, a 162 batting average of the year, but like we mentioned previously, with all the walks he draws, a 367 on base percentage. First pitch to Andina. That one a fastball off the plate. 0-1 the count here. Andina has been doing a tremendous job defensively in center field, been able to cover a lot of ground out there for the Scouts, making some catches on the run that have really saved the Scouts a couple of runs in various situations throughout the season as he fouls off the 0-1 pitch up down the third base side. So behind 0-2 in this count with 1 away is Francisco Andina.
And Cisco is just a gamer. That's all I can say to describe him. He competes every at bat, every time he's in the field, from first pitch to last. He's just a competitor.
The 0-2 pitch coming now. And that one is lifted into right field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. So Francisco Andina has himself a single, and the Scouts have themselves a base runner here in the bottom of the fourth as they try to tack on to their already 4-0 lead. It's back to the top of the order with Ben Beachy. Beachy, of course, the top hitter on the Scouts so far this season, came into the game with a 300 batting average, 4 doubles, 1 home run in our last game. 12 RBIs. That is also tops on the team. He's 1 for 2 on the day, singled in the first and struck out back in the second. He takes first pitch fastball inside part of the plate, called strike 1. Andina over at first here. 0-1 count with 1 away. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. And the runner Andina goes, throw over to second. Gonna get there easily. Francisco Andina caught stealing. And just like that, with a strike on the pitch, 0-2 with nobody aboard, and 2 away now.
And for Beachy right there, that's the pitch you'd like to cover. I think he looks like he's a little frustrated with himself there. I'd like to protect Cisco stealing that bag.
The 0-2 pitch now. Just off the plate, the count moves 1-2. Beachy has already scored a run in this game. Has one of 8 Xenia Scouts hits so far. 1 ball, 2 strikes, but 2 away. Here it comes. And way off the plate yet again. Beachy working the count here, evens things up 2-2. And the Scouts, who have already had a pretty solid day against R.J. Wagner, been working that pitch count here and just trying to keep things going for this middle of the order with Ryan Park and Jordan Lambert that has already seen a fair amount of success against Wagner already today. The 2-2 pitch, and that one, Beachy just gets a piece of it. Looks like he fouled that off into the front foot.
Yeah, it's been nice to see our lineup compete every at bat and go in there and see pitches, push the pitch count up for the starting pitcher. It's always nice to get to the bullpen a little bit early.
And that's the name of the game, especially if you're playing the Copperheads. Not that we're playing the Copperheads right now, but that's the name of the game against the Copperheads. 2-2, and that one, a curveball, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is going to do it for the Scouts in the home half of the fourth. No runs on 1 hit, and nobody left to board for Xenia. We have played 4. The Scouts still lead this one 4-0. So we're going to thank Caden for coming on in this one. We might have to bring you on for the second game of the doubleheader because we like you so much here in the booth.
Thanks for having me.
So we have played 4 innings of baseball here. Gabe Genovesi will be by my side when we come back. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into inning number 5. Andrew Alix here alongside Gabe Genovesi. The Scouts lead 4-0, and Caleb Bly back out to the mound. First pitch from Bly. That one is fouled right back towards the plate. Going to roll towards the third base side. 0-1 the count. Caleb Bly has thrown 4 innings of scoreless baseball thus far, allowing 2 hits. One of them really was not a hit. It was a foul ball, if we're being honest with ourselves. But Bly looking to go 5 innings deep here in what has been his most impressive performance thus far, but that one hit in the air towards left field, going to hook foul. So Caleb ahead in this count, 0-2.
Not to be Mr. Negative here, but in the long run, if that double, if it was called foul, Bly gets that out, he would have saved himself a lot of pitches in the 4th inning.
Well, you're absolutely right, and was following that double where Bly seemed to struggle a little bit with control as the 0-2 fastball taken upstairs. The batter, I have not mentioned it yet, is Jack Holden. Holden from Eastern Illinois, 0 for 1 on the day. A ground out back to the pitcher. 1-2 off the plate. Make the count 2-2. It'll be Jack Holden, the 9-hitter, followed by Nate Cobb and Cole Parks in the 1-2 spot at the minimum here in the top of the 5th. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Bly. And that one's hit in the air towards left. Jordan Lambert takes a couple steps back and makes the grab for out number 1. Mark it down as an F7. And 1 away for the Jazz here in the top of the 5th.
And now with this 7-inning game, you're really hoping, if you're pitching coach Corey Coobs, if you're Bubba Cates, that Bly can try to get a couple quick outs here, at least go 6. You only have to use 1 more pitcher in this one for an inning.
So with 1 away, it's back to the top of the order with Nate Cobb. Nate Cobb has the only real hit off of Caleb Bly all day as he swings and misses the first pitch changeup. 0-1 the count. Cobb broke up Caleb Bly's 2-2 third inning no-hitter in the 3rd inning. His first time up, he led off this game with a swinging strikeout. One of 3 strikeouts we've seen from Caleb Bly so far as the 0-1 pitch is taken way upstairs. A ball on the strike with 1 away here in the top of the 5th. 4-0 Scouts is your score. Cobb bats from the left side against the right-handed pitcher, Caleb Bly. The 1-1 now. And laying a bunt down the first base line, and that's in a weird position. Casserly's going to go over and take it, but no one there to cover the bag. A strategic bunt single from Nate Cobb has him his 2nd hit of the day, and the Jazz with a man on and 1 out now.
And Cobb, this being his first game with the Richmond Jazz, and no one on Xenia could have known that he had speed. He flew down that first baseline. That's I'm going to say the fastest runner we've seen all year. And like you said,
Faster than Antonzik?
I think he's faster than Antonzik. At
faster than the little dude on what's his face? The guy on Hamilton, the center. I'm blanking. One of the outfielder from Arizona who plays two sports. Faster than that guy?
Okay.
But maybe not that guy. Oh, wow. Go back in your book and find out what that guy's name is.
Trey Turner?
Yeah, Trey Turner. You're exactly right.
Trey Turner, he ran a 4.38 40.
Yeah, so I don't think he's faster than that guy. But nonetheless, the count's 2 balls and 1 strike. Sorry that we've gotten a little sidetracked here. I had to go through my head to remember every single player we've seen thus far. A lot of speed at first if we didn't get that across. That ball is hit in the air into left field. A couple of straight singles, one from Cole Parks, one from Nate Cobb, and it's 2 on and 1 out for the Richmond Jazz. And Caleb Bly, once again, finding himself in a little precarious situation with the heart of the Richmond Jazz order with the 3, 4, and 5 spots coming to the plate. So still nothing going in the bullpen, though, from what I've seen throughout the game. So 2 on, 1 out. Nate Cobb at second, Cole Parks at first. The batter, Mitch Wilson. Wilson 0 for 2 on the day as that pitch from Bly on the outside gets away from Park a little bit, but he scurries over to get in front of it to prevent anyone from advancing even a foot there. A ball and no strikes the count. Wilson 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout, but a .358 hitter, 3 doubles, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs for the second baseman from Concordia, Illinois. The 1-0. And Bly goes fastball outside part of the plate for a called strike there, taken all the way by Mitch Wilson. The count evens up a ball and strike.
And this pitch is key for Caleb Bly. If he can get ahead here, he can go with any pitch he wants on 1-2. And Mitch Wilson, who's been behind in the count all day, is 0 for 2 on the day.
The 1-1 delivery from Bly. And that one's hit right back at him. He ducks, but that goes into center field. Ondina has it. Rounding third is Parks. The throw home is going to be cut off by Casserly. An RBI single off the bat of Mitch Wilson puts the Jazz on the board. A 4-1 game now. And that ball was just absolutely hit smack on the nose. Bly had to duck out of the way. And this third time through the order now, these Richmond Jazz hitters finally starting to have some success against Caleb Bly.
Bly left that one just up in the zone, and like you said, I mean, there's really nothing Caleb Bly could have done besides maybe stick a glove in the air. That ball was headed straight for his chest, and he just had to duck out of the way.
You know, that's the instinctual reaction that you have to have if you're a pitcher when, you know, they talk about exit velocity a lot at the major league level, and that was one of the harder hit balls that we have seen all day. But runners at the corners now. First pitch curveball up and in, 1 ball and no strikes to Daniel Sepik. Sepik's 0 for 1 on the day. He did draw a walk back in the second inning, a ground out to short. His second time up, that was last inning. It's Cole Parks at third, and Mitch Wilson at first. That ball is hit in the air, fair territory in left field. It's going to roll to the wall. 1 run comes home. Mitch Wilson rounding third and heading for home. There will be no throw. An 2 RBI double off the bat of Daniel Sepik, and just like that, Gabe, we have ourselves a ball game here at Grady's Field.
A very close ball game. Daniel Sepik ropes a ball down the left field line, and now we see Ange Bourgeois coming in to talk to Bly, trying to calm him down. And I'm curious to see
is making some movements.
Curious to see what Cates is going to try to do. Like you mentioned, no one in the bullpen still for the Xenia Scouts. Bly's got 1 down here in the 5th.
Well, it looks like I see Landon Williams heading out to the bullpen right now, along with off-day catcher Chris Ackerman. It looks like the entire infield going to come in and have a word here with Bly. Bly, who had been just smooth sailing up until that double that shouldn't have been in the 4th. Since then, he's made 1 out, walked 2, and now allowed, or 2 outs, I should say, walked 2, and now allowed 3 runs on 4 hits thus far, all singles, all hit with the exception of Nate Cobb's squeeze bunt that got things going, all hit very hard. So like Caden mentioned last time Bly was out there on the mound, you wonder if fatigue is playing a factor here. And for what we saw in the beginning of this game, with Bly just being able to spot it up seemingly with ease, you'd have to think so. But looks like Bubba's going to head back to the mound, give Landon Williams some time to warm up, and see if Bly can finish this inning himself. And he'll have to face the most dangerous hitter in terms of production so far this season with Andrew Check. Check, 1 for 2 on the day. He had the double that shouldn't have been back in the fourth. Grounded out to third his first time up. First pitch, curveball upstairs. Ball number 1. A runner at second here with 1 away in the top of the 5th. 4-3 now the score in favor of the Scouts. Check, a .340 hitter, 3 doubles. Make it 4 now. 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. That is tops in the Richmond order. Bly finds the zone that time, even to the count, a ball and a strike.
And I like the approach here from Bly early. Paint the corners. Don't give Check anything easy to hit. As we've already seen him, despite that double being foul, hit a ball pretty hard.
Check hits from the left side against the righty. The 1-1 pitch now, and that one is roped into past the glove of Ben Beachy over at short, and that's going to go into center field. The tying run is going to come home. An RBI single off the bat of Andrew Check, and this game is locked up at 4 now.
And Ben Beachy was about 3 inches away from catching that ball and then easily touching second for a double play. I thought Beachy was going to get there, and I'm wondering if he could have laid out for that ball.
Yeah, I mean, as y'all might have heard from the hesitation that I had, thinking that ball really was so close to being caught that when you talk about it as you see it, I actually couldn't tell. So I kind of paused there. Beachy's so close, but no cigar. The RBI single, and now it's 4-4. Runner at first and still 1 out. And first pitch from Bly, that one goes way up and way in at the head of Bill Kroll. Kroll did not look happy with how close that ball came to him, gives Bly a stare down. And it's becoming evident that Bly is losing his stuff at this point.
Giving up 5 straight hits.
The 1-0 pitch now. Or should I say the 2-1 pitch and make it 3-1?
Actually, 2-0. The scoreboard didn't reset.
The scoreboard didn't reset. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So 2-0 now. 4-4, runner at first. 1 out here. A double play ball would be nothing short of a godsend. As curveball missing on the outside. 3 pitches, 3 balls. Bill Kroll.
And the only reason Caleb Bly is still in there is because the Scouts didn't have anybody warming up in the bullpen.
That's quite frankly, exactly.
They had to give Landon Williams time to warm up, and
You got to question the it's not ideal. Let's go with that. It's not ideal. As 3-0 comes up and in through ball 4. A walk issued by Caleb Bly, and now it's runners at first and second. And 1 out, and the call to the bullpen should be coming. Bubba Cates getting onto the step, and he's literally going to take all the possible time for Landon Williams to warm up. And now he's going to come out and make the call. It's runners at first and second, and 1 out in a tie ball game here at Grady's Field. A nail biter already from what seemed like the Scouts were absolutely cruising. So Williams is going to come in, he's going to warm up, and we're going to give him time to do just that. So we'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Landon Williams into the game, and he inherits a little bit of a sticky situation here. It's 2 on and 1 out, a tie ball game here in the top of the 5th. First pitch from Landon, slider, and they're going to say that one was off the plate. The batter is Josh Turnick. Turnick from Eastern Illinois, 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out his first time up, walked his second time up 1 inning ago. It's Andrew Check at second, Bill Kroll at first. Slider from Williams. That one finds the zone, a called strike. Landon Williams going into his junior year with Oklahoma Wesleyan, the NAIA program, the NAIA powerhouse, of which Corey Coombs was a graduate assistant these past couple of years, and Coombs brought Landon with him here to Southwest Ohio. The 1-1 pitch, and that one, was that a fastball?
I think that one was a fastball.
Yeah, that looked like a fastball. So the count moves a ball and 2 strikes. Landon Williams with a sidearm delivery, not to be confused with a submariner, but he delivers at about, if you're looking at him like a clock, he delivers at about 9 o'clock. 1-2 pitch taken up and away, evens the count up 2-2. Turnick, a .220 hitter on the year, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs. A double here would bring home 1, maybe 2. The 2-2 pitch coming now. Just off the plate, the count goes full.
That's the third slider from Landon Williams that has missed about half a ball outside. He's just missing, and he knows it too.
And when we talk about Landon Williams, Gabe, you brought it to my attention earlier today. He has the lowest batting average against in the Great Lakes League. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. The pitch, and that one just getting a piece of it to Josh Turnick, fouls it back right into the box. We're going to do 3-2 all over again.
Yep, opponents only bat 157 against Landon Williams. Not a lot of hits. So if you're going to bring a guy in this situation, if you're the scouts, it's going to be him. The question is, can he be effective after having to warm up so quickly?
3-2 again. And that one comes inside ball 4. So Landon Williams starts it off with a walk. And the concern, just as Gabe mentioned a second ago, Williams, who has had to appear in relief numerous times throughout this season, twice over the weekend, once on Saturday, once on Sunday. Granted, they were both shorter appearances, 1 inning apiece in both, and there has been the day off. But the short warm-up time combined with the overusage, he leads it off in a walk, and now the bases are juiced. That's first pitch to Jordan Gillerman. Fouled straight back. 0-1 goes the count. Gillerman's 0 for 2 on the day. A .286 hitter on the year. 3 doubles, 8 RBIs for the shortstop from St. John's. Division I program in the Big East. A double play ball would be perfect. As finding the zone again does Landon Williams, he finds himself ahead in this count, 0-2 with 1 away.
And the worry with that lead up with the first batter walk from Williams is anything deep in the outfield now scores a run because the bases are loaded and there's that runner on third and check.
The 0-2 pitch. And that one's hit into center field, and that's going to drop. 1 run's going to come home. They're going to hold everyone else up, but Jordan Gillerman, an RBI single, brings home Andrew Check, and now an inning that started with a 4-0 Scouts lead. The Jazz now lead 5-4.
A complete turn of momentum here in this game.
It feels like the oxygen has been pulled out of this place, man.
And we're only playing 7 today,
Yeah.
so the Scouts now down 1 and still in some trouble.
So the base is still juiced here, still just 1 away. And now the batter, Jack Holden. First pitch, slider in there for a called strike on the inside part of the plate. Holden's 0 for 2 on the day. A ground out back to the pitcher in the 3rd. He flew out to left back in the 5th. But like Gabe mentioned previously, the base is still juiced here. A long fly ball would bring home 1 more. That one off the plate. Count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. Still with 1 away.
And once again, the Scouts just can't avoid the big inning.
It has plagued them all season long. Holden hits from the left side against the righty Landon Williams. The 1-1 pitch. That one finds the zone. Outside part of the plate, right on the black there. A called strike 2, so Landon ahead in this count, 0-2 now. Every pitch from Williams here pivotal. An extra base hit could really put the Scouts out of this game as that ball's hit over towards third, foul ball. We're going to stay at 1-2.
And everybody was holding their breath there. That ground ball stays fair. It's rolling all the way toward the wall in the corner. Jordan Lambert from left has to make a long run, and that is scoring 2, if not 3.
So the count now, the count's still 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Williams inherited a jam, trying to get the Scouts a fighting chance in this ball game. The 1-2 pitch, and that one is hit into left field, and that's going to drop a base hit. 1 run comes home. Another RBI single makes the score 6-4 in favor of Richmond. And that was now the 10th batter of the inning in what has been the trademark blow-up inning of the Scout season so far. And if you're Xenia, it's just, you gotta hope that a double play ball of some sort here as it's back to the top of the order with Nate Cobb, as that one, a chopper hit over towards second. They're throwing to first, not in time. Very questionable call as an underhand throw on a ball that was chopping and just high chops, but not moving very fast. Bourgeois had to charge in from second. He grabs it, does the underhand toss. Very close play at first. But the field umpire says safe, so everyone's safe. Or another run comes home, and the score now 7-4 Jazz. And the Scouts just simply
There's no words
can't
for
catch
it.
a break. They can't catch a break.
There's no words for it. You can't give up big innings, and now the Scouts have done it in 6 ball games this year. And, well, this is only game number 14.
So now they'll count 1 ball, no strikes to Cole Parks. Parks has already batted in this inning once. He singled. Prior to that, he was 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Williams finds the zone that time. Count evens up a ball and a strike. 7-4 in favor of the Jazz is the score. The base is still loaded, still with just 1 out. The Scouts have let the Richmond Jazz hit through +2. So there have been 10 batters come to the plate since the Scouts recorded the first down of this inning. The 1-1 pitch. And that one, chopper, foul ball, third base side, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the count.
8 hits in this inning for the Richmond Jazz. Remember, Bly got the first batter of the inning to fly out to Lambert and left. Ever since, single, 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 double, single, walk, walk, single, single, single.
1-2 coming now. Here's the pitch. Way off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes goes the count. It's Cole Parks at the plate. Parks, the left fielder from Bethune-Cookman. That's a Division I program on the Florida Panhandle. The 2-2 pitch coming right here. And that one hit right back at Williams. He's going to go to set, or he's going to go home for the force. And they get the force at home. So Williams, who is actually looking to second, does a little pump fake action there, probably before realizing that the play was to home. So they get the force at home for out number 2. And the only, and a heads up play there by Williams, and a ball hit right back at him. But the only, what's the opposite of a silver lining? Like, the only way that it could have been better is if Williams had realized it earlier. They could have gone to home for a 1, 2, 3 double play. In all likelihood, well, who knows whether it would have gotten in time. His first pitch from Williams there. That one finds the zone. A called strike on a curveball. Base is still loaded here. 0-1 the count with 2 away in the top of the 5th. The Jazz lead 7-4 over the Scouts. The batter, Mitch Wilson. Wilson singled his last time up. That was in this inning. As that one a grounder in the gap. Bourgeois has it, throws to first, in time for out number 3. So the bases are left loaded for the Richmond Jazz, but they have their inning here in the top of the 5th. 7 runs on 8 hits and 3 men left aboard for Richmond. We have reached the middle of the 5th inning. The Scouts trail the Jazz by a score of 7-4, but plenty of baseball left to play, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Andrew Alix here alongside Gabe, Genovesi. The Scouts now trail 7-4 after the Jazz put up a 7 spot in the top half. But it's Ryan Park to lead things off for Xenia. He watches fastball upstairs, ball 1. We have seen from Ryan today 2 doubles.
A double and a single.
A double and a single for Park. 1-1 finds the zone. The count moves 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Park from Point Loma Nazarene has been hot of late. Came into the game batting .289. That is second on the Scouts. And he swings and misses there. So check that. The scoreboard was wrong. The count was 1-1 before. Now it's 1-2. Apologies for that, folks. I was wondering where I missed that pitch. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one comes up and in. It's going to even the count up 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If you're the Scouts, you just have to hope you can bounce back. You've been hitting the ball well today, 8 hits through 4 innings. See if Park can keep it going.
1-0. Swung on and missed. Oh, actually, they'll say that he just got a piece of that one. Fouls it right back. Not a very hard foul ball, but it'll do the job. Park stays alive in this count. Against the starting pitcher, R.J. Wagner. Another foul ball there. Third base side going to go out of play. The third baseman, Daniel Sepik, chasing in. And for the Scouts, like Gabe said, you just gotta bounce back. Offensively, they've been doing just fine so far. 8 hits in the first 4 innings. They have 3 innings here as Park fouls 1 away again. So working the pitch count, if nothing else, does Ryan Park. They were able to put up 4 runs in the first 4. They have 3 more to manage to put up 3. It was 3 in the bottom of the first for Xenia, 1 in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. That one low. And the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes, but nobody out here, Ryan Park. Park hits from the left side. A switch hitting catcher is Ryan Park. Hitting from the left side here against the righty. The full count pitch is low. And Ryan Park gets things going for Xenia here in the bottom of the fifth. A leadoff walk for the native Californian, and it's going to bring Jordan Lambert to the plate. Lambert, 1 for 1 on the day. He singled in the third, walked his first time up in the first, came around to score the third run of this ball game for the Scouts as he attacks first pitch. A fastball on the inside. That one is grounded foul down the first base side. The count will go 0-1 here. Lambert from the University of Tennessee Martin, the native of Savannah, Tennessee, came into this game a .271 hitter, a couple of doubles, and 8 RBIs for Xenia's everyday left fielder. The 0-1 pitch, and same deal. Pitch on the inside, fouled down the first base side, and Lambert finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
And Lambert's wanted to jump at that first pitch fastball that he saw. That one might have been a little inside, though. I think he's chased 2 balls in this at bat, but let's see if he can come back here on 0-2.
The 0-2 pitch, and Lambert hits that one on the ground, foul first base side. So staying alive is Jordan Lambert. As looks like some new baseball is going to come into the game, handed to the umpire courtesy of Michael Pineda O'Donnell. I would expect for y'all to see Michael Pineda O'Donnell in game number 2 of this doubleheader. The 0-2 pitch, and that one's hit on the ground towards short. They're going to go to second for 1, the throw to first for 2. Will be in time. A 6-4-3 double play. And the Scouts now with the bases cleared and 2 away here in the inning. It's going to bring Kyle Casserly to the plate. Casserly is 0 for 2. He did reach his second time up on what would be ruled as a fielder's choice. However, a bad throw over to first allowed Kyle Casserly to advance over to second on that one. First pitch curveball finds the zone, a called strike 1. 0-1 here with 2 away in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Scouts trail the Richmond Jazz by 3 runs. Pitch, curveball upstairs and outside there to Casserly. The count evens up a ball and a strike. Casserly, a .239 hitter on the year, 3 doubles, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Pitch, and that one is hit sky high on the infield. The second baseman is called off by the shortstop, Jordan Gillerman, who makes the grab for out number 3. So the Scouts, with nothing going in the bottom of the 5th, no runs on no hits and nobody left aboard. We have played 5 innings of baseball, and Xenia trails Richmond by a score of 7-4. Gabe Genovesi is going to take you all the way home with the play-by-play. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
A 7-4 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts as we head to the top of the 6th inning here at Grady's Field. The first pitch to Daniel Sepik is on the outside corner for strike 1. From the pitcher, Landon Williams, still in relief for the Xenia Scouts. Sepik steps up to the plate. 1 for 2 with a walk today, and he fouls one off down the first baseline. 1-2. Sepik, a 2 RBI double. His last time up in that 7-run top of the 5th inning for the Richmond Jazz. after the Scouts were cruising up 4-0. The 1-2, a chopper toward third. Takis fields it, and they're going to say fair ball. Takis fires over to first for the out. Daniel Sepik didn't even move.
Yeah, Daniel Sepik doesn't like it, but from what I saw there, that ball looked like it was bound to go foul, but stayed fair pretty much the entire time, just dancing down that line, high hops, not really moving to the left like it looked it would off the bat. And Takis, who thought it was a foul ball as well, just throws over to first. And let's see if they do a reverse on the call. Doesn't look like they will. I guess that's out number 1 in the 5-3.
And Sepik was claiming that ball hit his foot. That's why it was foul. He didn't move. He actually did. He took a hop. He limped a step, and he even showed the home plate umpire his guard like it hit it right there. And no change of the call. 1 down here in the 6th. It brings up Andrew Check for the Jazz. He takes a slider below the knees. 1 ball, no strikes to Check, who's 2 for 3 today. A double in the 4th on a ball that actually landed foul. Was called fair by the field umpire. And then an RBI single in the 5th, and this time he lines one foul down the third baseline. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andrew Check, the junior from Walsh University.
And if you're the Scouts, the issue being is that you were trying to use Landon Williams in the second game in kind of a switch-off situation with him, Pineda O'Donnell, and Jack Rains. Now that he's already pitched today, that's clearly out of the cards.
And that plan looked like it was going to go perfectly up until the 5th inning of this ball game. The 2-1 to Check outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Andrew Check, one of the most dangerous hitters in this Jazz lineup, leads the team in second on the team in doubles with 3. First on the team in home runs with 3, and this time he walks. The 3-1 misses outside, and there's 1 on with 1 out for the Jazz here in the 6th.
And I think that, and maybe not to be over dramatic, but your concerns coming in with Landon Williams have materialized in a lot of ways, just with no time to warm up, thrown into an incredibly precarious situation with 2 on and 1 out. And the control just hasn't been as pinpoint as we've seen with Landon Williams. Starting to get a little bit better here, starting to look like Landon in his regular form, but now down by 3. You kind of have to bite the bullet and use your best active pitcher in a game that you're trailing.
The first pitch to Cruel, strike. Now the 0-1, just below the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bill Cruel. Cruel 0 for 1 today. He popped out to Bourgeois at second in the 2nd inning. He walked in the 4th. He walked in the 5th. Came around to score the 6th run of the game as well in the 5th inning. Now the 1-1 to Bill Cruel. A slider, a good pitch from Landon Williams. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And that's the money for Landon Williams. Slider breaks to the left side, and left side if you're looking at the plate from behind, of course. But now he's ahead in this count.
The 1-2 pitch to Cruel. A fastball just below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the junior from Genovesi. I can't even say it. Genovesi. Should probably know how to read it before I try to mention it.
Don't worry. I've made that mistake about 10,000 times.
The 2-2, a swing and a miss on a slider, strike 3. Landon Williams gets his first strikeout of the day. And there's 2 down with 1 on here in the 6th.
I mean, talk about mispronouncing things, Gabe. I say Xenia, which is not how it's pronounced. I say that all the time. It took me like a year to realize it, too. It just sounds better.
How do you say it?
So sometimes I say Xenia, and sometimes I say Xenia. Like I make it a 3-syllable word.
And now the batter, Josh Turnick, flares one down the left field line. Fair ball. Takis chases after it and picks it up. They will hold the runner, Andrew Check, at second. And there's runners on first and second with 2 down here for the Jazz in the 6th.
And flare, Gabe, is the perfect word you can describe that. Just a ball not hit too hard with a lot of spin, perfectly in the area between third and left field, and just no one there to make a play. And it looks like it had a little bit of topspin on the hop as it accelerated on the ground. And good job there by Aaron Takis over at third to get there, prevent any advance. But 2 on and 2 out now for Jordan Gillerman.
Gillerman steps up to the plate, an RBI single off of Williams his last time up. He's 1 for 3 on the day. He flew out to Lambert in the third, flew out to Undina in center in the fourth. The first pitch to Jordan Gillerman. Chopped foul down the third baseline. 0-1. A 7-4 Richmond Jazz lead here in the sixth. The Scouts had a 4-0 lead and gave up a 7th spot in the top half of the fifth inning. See if Landon Williams can get out of a little jam. The 0-1 pitch to Gillerman. Line drive down the third baseline. A good scoop by Takis. As that one hopped in the dirt, a diving play made by Aaron Takis. He steps on third, and that'll do it for the Jazz here in the sixth. The Scouts trail 7-4 down to their final 6 outs. We'll see what the Bats can do with Aaron Takis, Donald Ring, and Ange Bourgeois, the 3 coming to the plate. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the home half of the sixth inning we go here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio. A 7-4 Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts as we head to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Aaron Takis will lead it off for the Scouts. He takes a strike on the inside edge. And now the 0-1 pitch is low below the knees, 1-1 to Takis, who's 2 for 2 today, a 2 RBI single in the first inning, a single in the third. R.J. Wagner still on the mound for the Jazz here in this first game of the doubleheader. Takis this time takes a fastball just off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Scouts with a 4-0 lead through 4 innings. They give up 7 runs in the top of the fifth and trail 7-4. Now Takis, a line drive towards center field, caught by Cobb, and there's 1 down.
And if you're the Scouts, you've had some extended success against R.J. Wagner. 8 hits in this game. They've had runners on base in every inning but the second. But so the game not entirely out of reach by any means, but with the Jazz needing just 5 more outs, they got to get something going and quick if they want to put up 3 and keep this ball game going.
Donald Ring steps to the plate. He swings at a curveball way low, 0-1. And Ring hasn't really seen the ball well today. 2 strikeouts, 0 for 2. 1 looking in the first, 1 swinging in the third. And that curveball from Wagner has got him a couple times. This time a slider misses just outside, 1-1. Ring now 3 for 21 on the year. In the designated hitter spot today, trying to get something going for the Scouts here in the sixth. The 1-1 pitch, a fastball high and outside, 2-1. The Richmond Jazz lead the Scouts 7-4 here in game 1 of the doubleheader this afternoon, only playing 7 innings in each game. The 2-1, a fastball swung through by Ring, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Scouts down to their final 5 outs as they trail by 3. The 2-2 pitch, skied high into center field. Cobb doesn't even have to move. Takes a step back, 2 down.
Yeah, two guys in a row in the sixth inning. Hit the ball hard, but just, not going to find the ground when you hit the ball in the air like that. The deep center here at Grady's Field, which is by all means a pitcher's ballpark. So now with 2 away, it's going to bring Bourgeois up.
Ange Bourgeois, 1 for 2 on the day, an RBI single back in the first inning. He flew out to left in the third. He shows bunt here. He watches a curveball in the dirt, 1-0. Bourgeois now a 6-game hitting streak for the Xenia Scouts. He's reached base now in all 12 of the games he's played in. Of course, this is game 14. He did sit out in one of the games in the first week as he takes a ball outside, 2-0.
And Bourgeois has been effective getting on base. Like we mentioned earlier, kind of the only shortcoming for him is the strikeout, which he kind of a lot, but he watches all the way there, and he finds himself ahead in this count.
3-0 the count on Bourgeois. Bourgeois, 12 strikeouts on the year, 3rd on the Xenia Scouts team. The 3-0 from Wagner, a fastball on the outside, corner, strike 1. The get me over fastball does just that. Bourgeois, the last time these two teams met was 2 for 4 with a ribby. And this time he lines one towards center. Going back is Cobb. He'll make the grab. 3 straight flyouts to center for the Xenia Scouts. And we'll head to the final inning of this ball game with the Jazz up 7-4. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the top of the 7th we go, a 7-4. Richmond Jazz lead over the Xenia Scouts. Michael Pineda-O'Donnell in to pitch for the Scouts. Try to close out this 7th inning and give Xenia a chance in the bottom half of the 7th, as we are only playing 7 here in game 1 of the doubleheader this afternoon. Gabe, Genovesi back with you on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Caden Owens joins me once again. Pineda-O'Donnell ahead in the count, 0-1 on Holden. The pitch outside, ball 1.
Yeah, all Mike is trying to do right here is to get us back in the dugout and get us a chance to score some runs and win the game. After a big fifth inning there for the Jazz, that's all he can do.
A swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch by Holden, 1-2 the count. O'Donnell takes the sign from Park. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit, left field. The leadoff runner aboard for the Jazz here in the 7th. Jack Holden's on with his second hit of the day. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Nate Cobb, who is 3 for 4 on the day with 3 singles. 2 of them infield singles with the speed of Cobb. Michael Pineda O'Donnell making his 5th appearance for the Scouts this season. He started a couple of games, 14 innings pitched, 17 hits given up, 13 runs, all of them earned, 7 walks, 10 strikeouts for Pineda O'Donnell, an 8.35 ERA. He throws over to first. Holden dives back easily, safely.
Look for Mike to try to attack the strike zone early right here, maybe get a ground ball to second right here to turn a double play.
And O'Donnell will throw over once again, this time a close play, but Holden dives back safely. Nate Cobb stepping in his first game with the Richmond Jazz this year and already making an impact. No surprise from Cobb as he's the 2017 GMAC Freshman of the Year. The GMAC, the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. As Cobb played for Malone College, and he takes a strike at the knees on 1.
A well-executed slider right there by Mike to start the count.
Jack Holden stands on first for the Jazz, a 7-4 lead here in the 7th for Richmond. O'Donnell will throw over once again, and Holden is giving him fits over at first. O'Donnell
was
throwing over
close that time.
O'Donnell throwing over 3 times. Jack Holden is 1 for 1 on stolen bases thus far this year, and now a pitch out from O'Donnell. And I'm not sure what Coach Corey Coobs is seeing here. I don't know if he thought he knew the signs at third and thought Holden was taking off or not. Now the 1-1 pitch to Cobb. A ground ball toward Takis at third. He'll go to second for 1. Over to first. Bourgeois lost the handle. And
yeah, he'll be out there.
He will be out at second. Bourgeois lost the ball, but it was on the transfer.
Yes.
And there's 1 down here in the 7th. And a good call by the field umpire.
Good pitch by Mike right there. And that was a large lead over there at first base. So that was the reason for the pitch out there, to try to keep the double play in order with that ground ball.
Cole Parks steps to the plate for the Jazz. Parks 1 for 4 today. He did reach on one of those, a fielder's choice. He also singled and scored back in that 7-run 5th inning. A 7-4 Richmond Jazz lead over the Scouts here in the top of the 7th. Once again, game 1 of the doubleheader, so we're only playing 7 this afternoon. The first pitch to Parks misses high and away, 1-0. Cole Parks, 23rd in the Great Lakes League in slugging percentage at .400. Parks, a double, 2 triples, and a home run on the year. The 0-1, a chopped foul right into the Xenia Scouts dugout, 1-1.
And we would love to get that same ground ball to third base right here to get another chance to turn that double play and get us back in the dugout.
Cole Parks at the plate. A 1-1 count on him. Mitch Wilson on deck for the Jazz. O'Donnell throws over.
Oh, they called a balk.
And now they're going to call a balk on Pineda O'Donnell. And Bubba Cates is going to come out and ask why. I didn't see it, did you?
I didn't see it.
That's a big call because it takes away the double play ball.
Takes away the double play. There's a runner in scoring position with only 1 out.
As from the 5th inning on, nothing can go right for the Xenia Scouts. Coming into today, the Scouts hoping for 2 wins, which would put them ahead of Richmond in the standings. Richmond would fall to 4th. The Scouts would move up to 3rd. And they're going to need a big 7th inning if they want any chance of that. The 1-1 to Cole Parks. A swing and a miss on a curveball, low and away, 1-2.
Good pitch by Mike. He's looking to work down and away right here to get a roll over to Ben or to Takis right there at third base.
Ben Beachy still at short. Tack is at third, as Caden mentions. O'Donnell steps off. Bourgeois at second. Casserly at first. Ryan Park behind the plate, still for the Scouts. The 1-2 to Parks. A high fly ball in foul territory toward Takis. And the throw to second, they doubled him up. Nate Cobb, sorry about the little confusion there. Nate Cobb took off for third, stealing third on the pitch. A high fly ball to Aaron Takis. Makes the play, guns it over to second, and they got the speedy Nate Cobb. The double play that the Scouts were hoping for to get out of the inning. And they head to the bottom of the seventh, down by 3, a 7-4 deficit. Down to their final 3 outs. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. To the bottom of the seventh we go. The Richmond Jazz up on the Xenia Scouts 7-4. As Dylan Lottenville will lead it off for the Scouts here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. He takes a ball high from R.J. Wagner. Wagner still on the mound. The starting pitcher for the Jazz in this one as he throws a fastball high and tight to Lottenville. 2 balls and no strikes. Game 1 of the doubleheader between the Jazz and the Scouts. So we are only playing 7 innings today. The Scouts down by 3, down to their final 3 outs as Lottenville takes another fastball low and inside for ball 3. Dylan Lottenville 0 for 2 today. A ground out to the third baseman Sepik in the second inning. A ground ball to the shortstop Gillerman in the fourth. The 3-0 is low and outside, ball 4. And that's what the Scouts were looking for, a leadoff runner here in the seventh.
That's exactly what we needed right here with Cisco coming up. Hopefully turn the order over to the top right here. Wagner, though, working really well this game. 6 complete innings. It's been huge for the Jazz with the doubleheader today. And it looks like they're going to the bullpen right here.
And after R.J. Wagner allows Lottenville to take his base on a 4-pitch walk, exactly as Caden says, they will go to the bullpen. We're going to find out who it is, and we will let you know when we come back on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. The new pitcher for the Richmond Jazz is Ben Nelson, making his third appearance with the Jazz thus far this year. He's pitched 4 innings, gave up 7 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, an ERA of 18. So the Jazz confident enough with a 3-run lead here in the last inning to go to a pitcher who has really struggled thus far this year.
This is definitely a matchup play right here against Cisco, the left-handed hitter who likes to push the ball the other way. Bring in a side slinger right here in Ben Nelson and see if we can get out of this is what I think the Jazz will be thinking.
R.J. Wagner's final line, 6 innings pitched, 8 hits given up, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and he is responsible for Lawtonville on first. Francisco Andina, the batter, he takes a ball outside, 1-0. Andina 1 for 2 today, a single back in the 4th. He grounded out to first in the 2nd. The Scouts down 7-4 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and once again, game 1 of the doubleheader, only playing 7 this afternoon. The 1-0 to Cisco on the inside part of the plate, strike 1. Andina, 12 walks on the year, 10th in the league, first on this Xenia Scouts team. Be huge if he can get on here. The 1-1. Line drive, and that's going to be a great play by the second baseman Wilson to field it deep in the hole and get Andina at first. Lawtonville moves up to second with 1 down.
Looks like the move paid off for the Jazz right there. But with the runner in scoring position and the top of the lineup up right now, we definitely still have a shot at this.
Ben Beachy steps to the plate, 1 for 3 today, a single in the 1st inning. Struck out in the 2nd and the 4th. Lawtonville on second. The first pitch to Beachy, a strike on the inside half, 0-1. Ben Nelson with that sidearm delivery, almost submarine-like. Doesn't have the greatest numbers, but the delivery can throw off the hitters. That one misses high and away, 1-1.
It's definitely deceptive, something you don't see very often. Even with low velocity, it can be effective.
The 1-1 pitch to Beachy. Line drive into left. Coming in as the left fielder Parks. He lets it land in front of him. Lawtonville takes third as he had to hesitate because of the line drive. He slides in safely, and Beachy is on first. The tying run comes to plate in Ryan Park. Runners on the corners with 1 down. The Scouts trailing the Jazz 7-4 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And the switch-hitting Ryan Park will bat from the right side. Park 2 for 2 today with a walk. And now a blooper into left field pit. Lawtonville will score. Beachy holds up at second. An RBI single for Ryan Park, and it's 7-5.
That's a clutch swing from Park right there to drive in a run. And look for these 2 base runners on base now to be very stationary. Move station to station because we are still down 2 runs right here. So Park is the tying run.
Jordan Lambert steps to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a walk today. Walked in the 1st, singled in the 3rd inning, grounded into a double play in the 5th. And now he watches a ball way outside, 1-0. 7-5, the Richmond Jazz lead here in the bottom of the 7th. The Scouts down 2, down to their final 2 outs with 1 down. Beachy on second, Park on first. The 1-0 to Lambert. Fouled off behind the plate, 1-1. And my partner, Caden Owens, just shaking his head. That's the pitch Lambert was looking for.
That's what he wanted right there, but we'll see if he gets another one. That was a good swing and a good cut by Jordan Lambert right there. We'll see what he comes back with.
The 1-1 pitch. Another one fouled off down the third base line. And that is 2 fastballs on the inside half of the plate for Lambert, who we know has power to right field, and he's just missed it both times.
Yeah, that's definitely what you look for, but that has to be the deceptive arm angle of this pitcher for the Jazz right now.
The 1-2, a swing and a miss on a fastball on the outside corner. And there is 2 down here in the 7th. And for the Scouts, that hurts, especially with Jordan Lambert getting a couple pitches that he normally drives out to right field. The first strikeout of the night for Ben Nelson, and the Scouts are down to their final out. Kyle Casserly steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the third. 7-5, the Richmond Jazz lead here in the bottom of the 7th. The first pitch to Cass. Inside, strike one. Beachy on second. Ryan Park on first.
Cass will be sitting on a fastball right here looking to drive a pitch somewhere.
The 0-1 ground ball to the shortstop Gillerman. He touches second, and that'll be the game. The Richmond Jazz put up a 7 spot in the top of the 5th and get a 7-5 win here in game 1 of the doubleheader. And for the Scouts, this one hurts.
That's a tough one to handle. Definitely being up 4 runs right there halfway through the game and then just kind of imploding with the 7th spot there in the 5th. That's tough. It definitely hurts. If we can take away 1 inning right there, we dominate that game. So we'll look to see if we can turn this around the next 20 or 30 minutes and get off to the right start and finish out a complete 7-inning game right here to finish off the night.
5 runs on 10 hits and 5 left the board for the Scouts. But as Caden mentioned, a 4-0 lead going into the 5th inning. And normally, obviously, that is good in a 9-inning ball game. But when you're only playing 7 here with a doubleheader, you're thinking we're cruising to victory. The Jazz didn't really have anything going on offense through those first 4 innings. 2 hits off of Caleb Bly for the Richmond Jazz. Bly did walk a couple people, but not many base runners. They left 4 on base in those first 4 innings. And then all of a sudden, 7 runs on 8 hits for the Jazz in the 5th. And it really turned the whole ball game around.
It did. And some of those hits were tough. They were placed in just exactly where you want them to be placed. It was tough to handle. Defensively, there's no play for that on balls that land over infielders' heads and ground balls that find holes. So all you try to do is go out there and pitch ahead. And that's what we did for the most part, especially early in the game. Caleb Bly, I thought, had a good start. Maybe got a little bit tired there in the 5th. And the Jazz took advantage of it and hit balls where we weren't.
And despite the great start, Caleb Bly will take the loss today in this one. R.J. Wagner, the win. He goes 6 of the 7 innings. Wagner pitches an excellent ball game. And maybe just a coincidence, maybe not, R.J. Wagner and Caleb Bly have met twice this season, and Wagner is 2-0. Caleb Bly is 0-2, as that was the matchup in the first game of the season against the Jazz for the Scouts. We're going to be right back. Game number 2 of this doubleheader will start in, I believe, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how long this break takes and when we get going. We're quite frankly not sure who the starter will be for the Scouts. We have not got a probable pitcher for the Jazz either, but obviously we will let you know at the beginning of that game. 7-5, the Jazz beat the Scouts here in game number 1 of the doubleheader. You'll hear from Andrew Alix in the first few innings of game number 2. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.